Video 92 out of 100. We are in the last 8. I only have a week left, I guess. I'm in the last week of making videos every day. I've done this for almost 100 days, and that was my self-challenge 3 months ago. And yeah, it's flown by. I can't believe we're in the home stretch. Anyway, so these videos are based on my LinkedIn posts, which are based on my X posts. And this gives me a chance to add more details and background to the written post. So today is about kids and constraints, right? So I caught myself recently, I telling my kids like, hey, turn off the TV, go play outside, or go put on your jacket, you're gonna catch a cold, or eat your vegetables, or you can't leave the table. Like I I thought I was gonna be the cool parent, but I guess I'm the strict one, right? And I think that's kind of a reflection of what I've done in my own life, and putting the discipline around, putting these hard rules around your life makes it more, satisfying and creative in if you can work within those boundaries, right? So like me, like I make sure I work out every day, and I do a lot of fasting, right? So fasting is intermittent fasting is a perfect example. That I know that in these 16 or 23 hours, like I'm not gonna eat anything, right? And that's my limit. That's the constraint that I put on myself, right? In that time, I'm just drinking or just not eating, right? But then out of that time that I know, I have 1 hour or 8 hours to just go crazy and eat anything I want, right? And that balance makes me enjoy both sides of it more, right? So I think for kids, setting those boundaries is exactly the same, right? So I keep a pretty wide, set of rules, I guess, of constraints around my kids. And, in that line, within those lines, they can do anything they want. And, I'm not going to say anything. Like, it's okay. It's cool. Right. But as soon as they cross that line, okay, we have to bring you back. Right. So, easy example of this is, exactly at the dinner table. Right. If they're, they can laugh, they can, they can even walk around, and come back to the table, it's cool. But if they throw the food, or if they disrespect the person who made the food, then time out. Then I remove them from the table and, put them in the timeout room. But that line is consistent, right? So they know that they can play and, go up to the line and, it's fine. I'm not going to say anything. But as soon as they cross that line, game over, right? And I think that would help them a lot, going through life, and just fitting into society, right? So having those consistent rules is something I really set out to do as a parent, as a father. And this relates to also creativity and work. So I still have a passion for graphic design. I don't do it as much as I used to, but it is part of the package that I offer my clients. And, when you're talking to a client and you ask them like, okay, let's talk about your logo, right? I think we need to update it. What would you like for a new rebranding, new refresh? And if the client says, just do anything you want, it's cool, right? They might think that it's, doing me a favor, that, anything's okay, it's cool, no stress, But that's actually the worst answer ever, right? That is the stress, because I have no idea what you're talking about, right? Like, do you want, I don't know, picture of a dog? Do you want, just my kid to scribble something? Like, that's okay. You said it, so anything is okay, right? So having total freedom is actually the worst, right? And same with kids. If they have no rules at all, like they'll get lost, and it's actually stressful, right? So I think as humans, we kind of naturally just kind of at least seek out the borders, right? And at least know what the limits are. So then within those limits, you can have total freedom, and it actually makes you more creative and more productive, right? So if I ask that client again, what would you like for a logo? And they tell me, blue, high-tech, friendly. Cool. Now we have some constraints, right? And within that, you can be super creative, right? Okay, blue, high tech, friendly. Like you can do a lot with that, right? Because you can focus, right? And if you don't have that focus, you're lost. You're really lost. And I think, if you don't have rules, you don't have constraints, you don't have discipline, you will be lost in the world, So for kids, designers, business, yourself, right? So I think it's important, like to set the constraints. It was like me, even this video. It's like when I started making these, I made basically very basic rules, right? It's like no editing, no scripting. Like I wanted it to be as smooth as possible, right? So in one day, I'm just gonna record 8 videos, right? And yeah, that was my constraint, right? It's like I don't want to think about editing or fancy transitions or music or anything like that will come later, right? But right now the purpose was just to get the habit of the video, so I put those limits on myself, right? And I've been able to accomplish a lot more in that time. So for I don't know, parenting, for kids, for business, constraints are a good thing. So if you feel trapped or stuck in something, consider putting actually more traps and more constraints, because that would actually help you focus and find a solution. Okay, so thanks for watching. I am Inbound Alex, and I help Japanese brands with their inbound sales. And then we use that to help them go abroad and expand overseas when they're ready. If this is your brand, give me a call. Let's get started. All right, thanks again. See you next video.